What up, YouTubers? Alex here with the Snapcast. Today we're going to be doing a deck tech. I've been running through a league in Modern with Azorius Control, an old favorite of mine ever since the standard with Supreme Verdict and Sphinx's Rev and Jason Elspeth, which we're running again. So we'll get started with lands. 3 Colonnades as a win condition / blocker. It's just a good card. 4 Flooded Strands for mana fixing. 3 Glacial Fortresses as our fast land because we're playing a lot of basics and things. It's always untapped. 3 Hollowed Fountains. Then we got Islands and Plains. Then we have our utility lands that are colorless here. And 3 Tech Edge just to put more hurt on our opponent's mana base. We're doing that with Spreading Seas, so we want more of that. And then Mystifying Maze is a card a lot of people forgot was in Modern. It taps for colorless, or you can pay for and tap it and exile target attacking creature an opponent controls, and at the beginning of instep put it back in play tapped. So it plays like Maze of Ith, where instead of just untapping that creature moving from combat, it actually exiles it, and it comes back, so they'll get any enter the battlefield effects with that. However, it does come in play tapped, so it's not a blocker, and it's just a nice card to have when we're kind of stalling the game out and trying to win with Planeswalkers. So then we have 4 Path of Exile, obviously just the best 1-drop removal. 4 Wall Omens for card draw and just an early blocker against aggressive decks. 4 Supreme Verdicts to put hurt on mana bases, also cantrips. Then we're running 3 Ghostly Prison just to make it more. It attacks the mana base of our opponent more. They have to pay 2 to attack with every creature. Limits the number of attackers that can come in, or it wastes their turn attacking. Especially if they waste their turn attacking, we get to maze some of them and things like that. 2 Timely Reinforcements, once again for life gain to stave off early aggro. Also makes tokens, which can be a win condition or just early blockers. 2 Detention Sphere to just kind of clean up, non-creature things that can be a problem. Things like Ensnaring Bridge, because we do have to attack to win, and things like that. 2 Coalition Relic. This is an interesting addition to this deck, and I really like it because it gives us 6 mana on turn 4 if we can put a charge counter on it, or we can still use it to leave up Path to Exile, then have 5 mana. And as you can see, our 5 mana and 6 mana are pretty stacked, and that's how we win the game. So that's what we want. Also, it's just really nice to get an extra mana before combat to activate Colonnades for a little bit cheaper and things like that. It allows us to use our mana more efficiently, which is needed in Modern right now to keep up with the Eldrazi, which just has the most efficient mana base for things like that. It also allows us to, cast something like Spreading Seas just with Coalition Relic if we put a charge counter on it, and then still have mana for like Mystifying Maze or Activate Colonnade or Verdict and things like that. Once again, very nice just use of our mana here. Then we have 4 Supreme Verdicts just to clear things up, to get things out of here. Then we get into win conditions, which is our top end here. We have 2 Jace Architect of Thought, which is just good card draw, and it also locks out lower based aggro decks that only have 1 or 2 power. We can help lock that, stem the bleeding, things like that. The ultimate is also a win condition. We have a Batterskull in 5, which is just a good card. We have plenty of mana between relics and 26 lands that we can just bounce it if we need to and keep doing those shenanigans, as well as it's just good, gaining us life, win condition of its own. We have 2 Tamiyo, the Moon Sage. It's been underplayed for a while now, but I really like it in this deck as it's a card draw engine, and also the +1 to tap target permanent is great, especially after we Verdict and they only have maybe 1 threat. We can just continue to lock them out of the game, which is really nice. Then we have 3 Gideon Jira, the heart of the deck here. The +1 is great, making everything attack it. It's just good. It buys us turns. In combination with Jace, maybe they can even kill it for a while. -2 is great, just to kill something, and he can always fire up and become a 6/6 for a quick clock. Usually a 3-turn clock in Modern, as they've fetched and shocked down to 17 or 18. Then we have 2 Elspeth. Also another win condition in this deck. Probably one of the best. It was in Modern for a long time. It was really hard to cast a 6 mana Planeswalker, or just any spell in general. But we have Coalition Relic to help ramp it out, and also it just takes over the board. It puts 3/1/1 blockers that chump block against Zoo and things like Eldrazi, as long as they don't have Reality Smasher, things like that. The -3 is great. Destroys all creatures are greater than 4, so it hits all the Thought-Knot Seers, Reality Smashers out of that deck. And just really nice to help clean things up. And the emblem is just you win, typically. So as you may have noticed, this is a very tap-out style control. The only things we really leave up are like Path to Exile, which is just 1 mana, so it's really easy to leave up, especially with like Coalition Relic and stuff. I'm fine with the tap-out version, especially with one of the best decks right now has a lot of cast effects. You know, Eldrazi gets their effects on cast, so countering doesn't even really matter. And also, because we're running so many Planeswalkers, there's not a lot of Planeswalker removal in Modern, and they're very hard to deal with, and they just quickly take over the game. So that's why we're playing this kind of tap-out version. We'll go to the sideboard real quick. It's pretty straightforward. 1 disenchant to just clean up things like Chalice and just random things like that. Kentucky Warwage is for Affinity. 3 Core Firewalkers is for Burn. Dispel and the 2 negates are just the counter spells we don't have in the main. We want them to the side for certain matchups. We just need a counter spell. Also helps with like Burn and you know, negate for Karn and Tron, things like that. Hercule's Recall also for Affinity. 2 Kitchen Finks, just a really good value creature that we can bring in out of the sideboard. It blocks very well. It's also for Burn with the gaining life and things like that. 2 Relic for all the graveyard shenanigans, you know, Abzan, Coco combo, and Grishelbrand and those kinds of things. And then 2 Spellskite for Infect as well as Boggles, and helps with like Burn and random things like that. It's just a good, you know, good value to have. So that concludes the deck tech, and then we'll be back with running the videos, running it through a Modern League. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned.